Illnesses do not come upon us out of the blue. They are developed from small daily sins against nature. When enough sins have accumulated, illnesses will suddenly appear. There are in fact two things, science and opinion, the former begets knowledge, the latter ignorance. As to diseases, make a habit of two things to help, or at least, to do no harm. Declare the past, diagnose the present, foretell the future. Life is short, art long, opportunity fleeting, experience treacherous, judgment difficult. A physician without a knowledge of astrology has no right to call himself a physician. It is far more important to know what person the disease has than what disease the person has. Men ought to know that from the brain, and from the brain only, arise our pleasures, joy, laughter and jests, as well as our sorrows, pains, griefs, and tears. If you are in a bad mood, go for a walk. If you are still in a bad mood, go for another walk. The chief virtue that language can have been clearness, and nothing detracts from it so much as the use of unfamiliar words. Prayer indeed is good, but while calling on the gods a man should himself lend a hand. There are, in effect, two things, to know and to believe one knows. To know is science, to believe one knows is ignorance. All parts of the body which have a function, if used in moderation and exercised in labors in which each is accustomed, become thereby healthy, well developed and age more slowly, but if unused they become liable to disease, defective in growth and age quickly. All disease begins in the gut. If we could give every individual the right amount of nourishment and exercise, not too little and not too much, we would have found the safest way to health. Positive health requires a knowledge of man's primary constitution and of the powers of various foods, both those natural to them and those resulting from human skill. But eating alone is not enough for health. There must also be exercise, of which the effects must likewise be known. The combination of these two things makes regimen, when proper attention is given to the season of the year, the changes of the wind, the age of the individual, and the situation of his home. If there is any deficiency in food or exercise, the body will fall sick. A wise man should consider that health is the greatest of human blessings, and learn how by his own thought to derive benefit from his illnesses. A wise man ought to realize that health is his most valuable possession. Even when all is known, the care of a man is not yet complete, because eating alone will not keep a man well, he must also take exercise. For food and exercise, while possessing opposite qualities, yet work together to produce health. Sport is a preserver of health. The way to health is to have an aromatic bath and a scented massage every day. If someone wishes for good health, one must first ask oneself if he is ready to do away with the reasons for his illness. Only then is it possible to help him. The function of protecting and developing health must rank even above that of restoring it when it is impaired. Each of the substances of a man's diet acts upon his body and changes it in some way, and upon these changes his whole life depends. Wine is an appropriate article for mankind, both for the healthy body and for the ailing man. The natural healing force within each of us is the greatest force in getting well. Before you heal someone, ask him if he's willing to give up the things that make him sick. Healing is a matter of time, but it is sometimes also a matter of opportunity. Extreme remedies are very appropriate for extreme diseases. Natural forces within us are the true healers of disease. Cure sometimes, treat often, and comfort always. To do nothing is also a good remedy. If you are not your own doctor, you are a fool. Look well to the spine for the cause of disease. Divine is the task to relieve pain. Rest as soon as there is pain. Leave your drugs in the chemist's pot if you can heal the patient with food. Just as food causes chronic disease, it can be the most powerful cure. Let food be thy medicine, let medicine be thy food. Wherever the art of medicine is loved, there is also a love of humanity. Walking is man's best medicine. What medicines do not heal, the lance will; what the lance does not heal, fire will. The greatest medicine of all is teaching people how not to need it. Anyone wishing to study medicine must master the art of massage. Foolish the doctor who despises the knowledge acquired by the ancients. Whenever a doctor cannot do good, he must be kept from doing harm. The physician treats, but nature heals. Nature itself is the best physician. Everything in excess is opposed to nature. We must turn to nature itself, to the observations of the body in health and in disease to learn the truth. People think that epilepsy is divine simply because they don't have any idea what causes epilepsy. But I believe that someday we will understand what causes epilepsy, and at that moment, we will cease to believe that it's divine. And so, it is with everything in the universe. That which is used, develops. That which is not used wastes away. The soul is the same in all living creatures, although the body of each is different. Many admire, few know.